Hey YouTube, what's going on? Diane here from Snowfog Outdoors, and today we're going to take a look at some bushcraft bargains. Yes, got a new haircut. But my head is also cold because it's freezing down here in North Carolina, and it's rainy and damp and blustery and blech. So who doesn't like a bargain? I mean, we all go to secondhand stores and thrift shops and yard sales and lawn sales and garage sales and swap meets and anywhere we can to look for bargains for our bushcraft bags or bushcraft hobbies, stuff that we make, or prepping items, survival items. And you never quite know what you're going to run into. It may not be something exactly for the craft that you're doing, but there's always something that you can turn into a tool or a cook kit or a tarp or a hammock with just a little imagination and some work on it. I love going to the thrift stores and secondhand shops down here. We have a ton of them. We also have bargain outlets down here like Ollie's and of course, the Dollar Tree and stuff like that. But recently I got some really great items and I just want to know what you think. And I also picked up an old knife that was on its last legs, literally, and I put a little extra life in the blade, and I'm going to show that to you too. So stick around. We're going to go over here, and I'm going to show you what I got. Be right back. Okay, so I got a couple items here. This is a set of like hobby files. You have a round file and a triangle file and a flat file and just various types of files. When I got this, I got it at like a I guess it was not really a thrift store, but it was a secondhand store. They just sell a variety of everything, new, used. This was brand new when I got it, $2. I use this set every day. I use it for knife making. I use it for woodworking. And I'm so glad I picked it up. Now, to me, that is a good bushcraft bargain. This was a canister I picked up at Ollie's. Ollie's is one of the bargain outlets down here. I believe I did show this in a previous video. It was a VR video for cook kits or something. And they have the different size canisters. I got this size, which is probably, I don't know, a quart maybe. Then they had a bigger size. I'm assuming the bigger size was like for flour and this size was for sugar or coffee or something. But what a great little billy can this makes. In the lid, I just drilled a hole and put a bolt in there with a washer and a nut so I can take a pair of pliers or something and, take it off of the fire. This is just my cup. It's in a bag because it's all charred. This I also picked up for like a dime at I think it was Goodwill. And I think it is a cake pan for layer cakes. As you get up to the top, this would be your top tier. And it's an awesome little cup or extra cooking vessel to put in this. I could put rocks in the bottom of this and set that in there on top of the rocks and bake bannock or whatever. And it's really nice, and I paid like $2 for this, and I think I paid $2.99, $3 for the bigger one. So what I did was, this also came from a thrift store. It came with that set that I baked a beer bread in that I showed you in a previous video. It's kind of like a steamer set, but I made a stove out of it and used the flan pan to bake in. So again, I drilled a couple holes, put these in here, and I have my bale. Cook kit for about, I'd say less than $3. And that's including the bolt. So, cute little kit. Oops, I forgot to put my cup in. So you see, if you look hard enough, you can find a lot of great items that will suit your needs for bushcraft, prepping, survival, whatever you want to do. All right, let's see what else I got here. I'm going to save some of this stuff for the last part because it's exciting and it's cool. Pardon the arm. These are brand new green enamel pans that you can use over an open fire. Ding, ding, fries are done. This little frying pan is so cute. I probably wouldn't take this out because it's just, I don't need it. I have other, regular camps cookware to use because it's got a big handle on it. But we went on a day, it was like 50% off. So each one, the whole set together was $1. I got each one for 50 cents. But the frying pan is light enough and flat enough to go right into your pack. So that was a pretty good score. Next, this I picked up at a swap shop. He had some of the coolest stuff in there. I tried to look this up, do some research. It's not American. It's some type of military haversack bag or something. As you can see, it's got, I think these are aluminum buttons on here in this front flap. And then inside you have the top here that closes over. And then it's just open here in the front, then with a piece of canvas and a back. This flips all the way over and goes like this through these buckles right here. There's all kinds of buckles on top. There's a handle. This, I don't believe, is the same shoulder strap that it came with. And there's loops here. And when I looked inside and it says RAKA, Raka. It's either 8 or 3/61 and then like a serial number. There is no US on here, so it's got to be some form of European military pack of some kind. And I got this for $1.25. I did throw it in the washer because it was a little grody and it stunk bad, and I got to try to see these white marks on it here. I got to try to get those out of there. But what a really cool vintage pack for a really good price. My original plan was to take this and replace all the buckles and put leather on there, but I'm not going to do that. And it's got loops over here on the side, but it's just a really good bargain. And you have to pick it up. When you see it like that, and it's all lonely and sitting there by itself, you know nobody in their right mind wants it. But there's us bushcrafters and people in our genre of what we do and what we like that are just dying to get our hands on this stuff. The vintage stuff is always the best. Okay. All right. Now, at the same swap shop I picked up that bag, I also picked up this for the knife making in me. It's some type of rotary cutter blade of some kind. I couldn't exactly find what it was, so if anybody out there knows exactly what it is, let me know. It's not too heavy, but it is a little heavy. But I thought about just cutting it in half and making some type of knife with it. But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool, and it was $2. So I'm like, I'll pick it up and see what I can make out of it. I mean, I can grind these parts down, or even this part down here, and make kind of like a semi-ulu out of it, or just make like a self-defense tool. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I think I'm going to cut it in half and send the other half to my buddy Chris from Carolina Chris Outdoors, because I know he could make something with this. All right, there's that. This I picked up at, we got a junk store up the road. I've mentioned it in other videos where I've picked up secondhand stuff. And he just throws his stuff in like bins and barrels. And he gave me this for 25 cents. It's some type of stock steel. Not too thick. I'd say maybe 5/16. It's all rusted. But I see a knife coming out of this in the near future. I also got this at the junk shop up the road. This is, I know this is US. It's an M8A1 sheath. Now these were made, I believe, in Pennsylvania from the 1940s to the late 1960s. And they were made for the bayonets and for the fighting knives. That much I do know about the sheath. As far as the item that's in there, I don't know. Bear with me. I don't know if this was a bayonet. I don't believe so. I believe it was one of the U.S. military fighting knives, or trench knife as they used to call it. It could be an M1, it could be an M3, I really don't know, but the tip has been broken off. Maybe in somebody, I don't know. I don't know, but and because of the back, I know that most bayonets have the dual bevels, and you know, it's still kind of sharp actually, so somebody has taken something to it. And the handle would have been here with the you know, finger guard and stuff, but I'm not quite sure. So any of you military history buffs out there, the only number that I can find on this, I thought I found one on here. Bear with me here for a minute. Maybe it wasn't this one. No, doesn't tell me. So if any of you military people out there know exactly what this is, I believe it's one of the trench knives. Could have been from World War II era, could have been from Vietnam era, I'm not quite sure. But it doesn't look like a bayonet to me. My original thought was I was going to restore the sheath, because it is still in pretty good shape. It needs some new webbing. And restore the knife and put a handle on it, but I don't feel comfortable doing it. I think I'd rather have a better knife maker, Tom Chitwood, restore it for me, because he does such awesome jobs with repairs and restoration. So yeah, maybe I'll talk to my buddy and see if he's interested. Tom, are you interested? All right, so there's that. Now, what do we have left? Okay, this is like my favorite right here. We have a place, it's an antique mall, Granddaddy's, and it's reasonable to reasonably expensive. There's a lot of vintage tools and vintage kitchenware and clothing and toys and you name it. If it's vintage, it's in this place. Well, Mandy and I were there one weekend, and we were, you know, I think it's like 2 acres that you can browse around. Get down, Ori. Get down, honey. And I wandered by this case, and I saw a old hickory butcher knife in there. Vintage old hickory butcher knife. It looked like it was maybe a total length of maybe 5 or 6 inches. It was small, but it was a butcher knife.